Hello, I'm Ajay Dholakia. We are here today to talk about AI Factory. It is a new concept that has taken over the industry. It is the talk wherever you go to any industry events or even talk to companies that are building products related to AI, us as Lenovo being one of them. And so I thought I'll take a few minutes to help break down this concept of an AI factory. We need a little bit of setup, and so I have some topics here that we will quickly review. Of course, AI is a broad term. In particular, here we are talking about generative AI, which has been the focus of the last 4 or 5 years of excitement in the industry. Of course, from design and building and research, it's been a couple of 3 decades that these things are being worked on. But generative AI came around in the popular mindset with the introduction of ChatGPT, which was a Q&A system, query and response, question and answer. And at the heart of that was a construct called large language model. So it was called the GPT in that particular case. Let me note these as we are going. This was a chatbot. GPT, generative pre-trained transformer, became the excitement. Over time, much work has gone into improving the accuracy of the output that these models generate. And this is where I'm calling them LLM plus. What that means is it's a model which has access to data repository, it has access to API calls, and it has access to a lot of memory to be able to store the context of that interaction with the user and so on, right? So all that together, LLM plus. Then the excitement shifted towards encapsulating these AI software entities into what are being called AI agents. And agents are software that is able to perceive the environment in which it is operating and then make some decisions based on either user query or certain events happening or on an ongoing regular kind of timer-driven basis. And then implement those decisions by taking certain actions. So those actions actually affect the environment in which the agent is deployed or implemented. So this could be a financial system, or this could be a physical environment like a factory floor or a retail store or a medical office or what have you, right? So this is where AI agents have started to become a way to take repetitive but also complex tasks and encapsulate them, incorporate learning ability, this ability to learn from the environment and do that. So that's AI agents. And then what people have realized is that any sort of business objective requires you to break it down into a number of steps. And each of those steps might be a good target to be encapsulated as an AI agent. So you quickly start to have a multi-agent system. So the target is that we want to be able to have a collection of AI agents that are handling some complex business objectives, business process that is broken down into steps. And how to build and implement them is now becoming the focus of a lot of industry and academic research, as well as product building, hardware, software, what have you. So, when we talk about these AI agents, they are not some abstract or just a few lines of code or just some bits sitting there. There is this notion of an AI stack, or I would even say, the implementation incorporates certain layers. And one of the ones that has been talked about a lot, and I'm going to start from the bottom up, is that if there is energy, so you need to power the IT system that builds it. There is chips, what we call XPU, CPU, GPU, NPU, LPU, DPU, you name it. There's a whole bunch of these types of chips that are used, that are built to and optimized to run AI-specific algorithms. These chips get designed into systems. So this is where we, Lenovo, come into picture. We build systems that incorporate XPUs or chips from our vendor partners. These systems are able to compute, have memory, can have storage repository, and on top of them come models that may have been built either for general purpose tasks like Q&A systems or document summarization, or might have been specialized for a given industry like medical domain or drug discovery and pharmacology or legal or financial. So at the top of this sit the applications that use the model, that run on the system, that use the chips to do the algorithms that, of course, are using energy. So this is kind of a view of a system stack that people have come to talk about. We can break them down into sub-layers. Well, system has hardware, it also has software, and so on, right? So you can start to make different notions. Here, you may have access to data, you may have access to environmental, and so on, right? Getting to talk about AI agents. So we can further break them down, but largely that's a notion. Now, I mentioned some use cases. For example, a chatbot or a document summarization system. And we talked about even software development, so code generation. These are some of the types of tasks. In a given enterprise organization, even in a small personal setting, you might need to take care of multiple of these tasks. So do you build an AI stack dedicated to each task? And if so, pretty soon you will have a proliferation of lots of systems or yes, they may be running a multi-agent system, but it starts to become very difficult to coordinate all that because each implementation has to worry about all these things. So IT industry has a lot of experience in building these things. In the past, we have talked about encapsulating some of the layers in a way that allows a multiple of some of the other layers to be running on top. So that's the notion that is being deployed. And so we are going from LLM to agents to multi-agent systems to what we are now talking about, AI factory. Well, why AI factory? The word factory is commonly used in general English language, in our day-to-day life. When somebody says factory, many things come to mind like production. It's being set up to produce something. It needs some materials to build those things. It has a pipeline that that material flows through. There is opportunity for automation. And then we talk about the scale at which you build the factory, right? So these are some of the common connotations. And so what we can do today is make it specific to AI factory. So what do you think is being produced in AI factory? And the word you hear a lot about these days is tokens, right? This is the talk of the town in terms of how many tokens do you need to get a job done? How much are you paying per million token? And are you doing it to access the capability where this is a recurring charge, or are you able to set it up inside your own data center, what we call on-premises or on-prem, whereby you're not having to go to outside, and your token cost is no longer per token, it's for the entire system and so on, right? So there is a whole discussion we can have along that time, but the production is tokens. The factory, AI factory, is generating tokens. The material it uses is data. Simple as that, right? It is data that got used in training the model, but also data that is needed for day-to-day business processes that are then fed to the model to get the decisions made to run the action, right? Pipeline may be this notion of what we talked about: data repository, API calls, ability to store the data and manage the context of different conversations or different action streams that are playing out. So there is that type of stage by stage capability. Now, automation is where, again, the AI agents come in. You want to be able to encapsulate some of these things in AI software that is designed to perceive, decide, and act based on learning by observing the environment, right? So that's the automation. And then the last thing we talk about is scale. So I guess there is some picture people draw of factories, it being a small, or we call them, let's even go smaller than what I was going to type, micro factory, right? There might even be a mini factory, which, so, well, okay, I might have a much bigger, maybe there is some smoke coming out, just keeping the notion alive. And then there are some mega factories, right? It's really big. Think in terms of a node or a system, think in terms of a pod, and think in terms of large sort of full-on data center level, right? So this is really the scale at which these AI factories can be built. And well, what is being produced can also be organized in different levels. So are we looking at simply data as a service, refined data, some data, what we call transformations or refining or cleaning the data. So it could be this notion of AAS is as a service, right? We talk about infrastructure as a service, particularly in the cloud system environment, IaaS, or platform as a service, or software or application as a service. Here, so I'm using this acronym AAS. So is the factory producing data? Yes, refined. That's like having a mill that produces flour, right? Is it producing model as a service? Is it producing, on top of the model, tokens as a service? Or is it going all the way and running applications, right? What is the factory able to do? That's a question that needs to be determined based on what you need. No one is better than the other. The question is, some people are interested in data and models, and then they bring their own ability to generate tokens and run their applications, whether they are financial, so medical or retail. Some people or enterprises are interested in only the models and kind of stop there. And some want the full turnkey experience of give me everything. So, what could this be? This is flour, then it could be put into dough, and then it could be made into bread, and this could be made into a popular type of bread called pizza, and so on, right? So we could actually be thinking about the level of output that is coming from these factories and the scale at which this needs to be done, right? So, for example, micro factory might be one metric will be number of concurrent users, number of use cases, right? It could also be number of departments or functions that are, finance, marketing, sales, engineering. It could be the concurrent user is the broad user population. You may be focusing on a narrow set of users, your internal employees, or you may be looking at a very broad set of users who are your end customer for a product of an enterprise, right? So all these things sort of go into deciding which scale that you build. The final comment I would make is this is what I call a team sport, building AI factories. So we may be working with our chip partners, our software partners, our services partners, and our sort of channel partners or business partners, where how much of that factory gets built by us versus how much of it, the rest of it that is built by the enterprise that is going to be deploying it, is determined by the level of as a service that they are looking for. An important notion might be here, if you want something like a microservice, we have what we call Lenovo validated designs. I'm using this acronym, but this should be fairly familiar to at least the internal population. These are meant for providing detailed design guidance around building these AI factories. And so look it up. These may be numbered. There are some notions we go with called 2-to-1, which is basically how many CPUs, how many GPUs, and how many, let's say, adapters the node has. So 2 CPU, 2 GPU, 1 adapter is kind of a, I would say, a micro factory. It has one node, right? You start to scale it up, you might actually go down to the path of, I think we have some that are 285 and even 289. We are doing some work on 201, which means CPU, powerful CPU, no GPU, and a node. So this might even be maybe a nano factory or a smaller version of the micro factory as a starting point. And then these are full-on rack systems, that we may be putting together a bunch of these nodes, clusters, what we call pods, and so on, right? So not single nodes, but multiple of them. So that would give you how big the factory will be. So let's recap. AI factory is implementing AI software, basically generative AI software that has now come to be deployed in this advanced form of language models as AI agents, and in fact multiple agents, because a business process is broken down in that way. And how much of the software, the hardware, and the models that need to be run based on the needs of the enterprise is going to determine how big of a factory we need. And I would encourage you to go explore Lenovo.com for additional information about these Lenovo validated designs on some of our latest AI factories. Thank you for watching. Lenovo.